Hey Aquarius, your April tarot reading is ready. I'm Eleanor. Welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot. No intro this month. We're just going to get right to it. Your cosmic influence for April. This card is called Unity in this deck, and it's the equivalent of the World card in traditional tarot. So for where you will find yourself on your journey in April, it says traveling lightly, simplify your life. So what these two together mean is that this month is all about decluttering, kind of physically, but more so in other ways, like energetically, removing time sucks, unhealthy attachments, that sort of thing. And the benefit is a greater feeling of wholeness and connectedness because you have fewer distractions, fewer places that you're fragmented across and spread thin across. There's fewer compartments, and that creates higher levels of integration. And there's also a huge cycle that could potentially be closing out here. And that could mean letting go of some of the stuff that is of that last cycle and has no purpose in the new one. And there's also like a consolidation type of energy here. So for what is something to consider surrendering, your first question, as part of that process, you have the Ace of Quills. This is swords energy, represented by the novel The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So it's letting go of always having to know and surrendering to a little bit of mystery. Is there anything that you can allow to just exist without being dissected into pieces and analyzed for its parts? Like I was saying a second ago, fragmented, taken out of context. Maybe there's something that you can't understand in its wonderful whole state, and can you just be in awe of it or be amused by it or just enjoy it even without a deep understanding of it? Now, this doesn't have to apply to everything, because I think it would be like impossible to just surrender this basic part of your Aquarian mind. But can you apply it to one thing? The thing that loses all meaning when it's broken into parts, or that creates separation where there should be unity. So for where you will see the most change in April, you have the Nine of Light. This is Cups energy, represented by Anne of Green Gables. So you could see the fulfillment of some wish that you've made, or just a greater sense of contentment and enoughness. And with traveling lightly in that Nine of Cups, I can't help but think that less is more for you in April. Like maybe your wish is for something to be less complicated, or for a system in your life to be more compact. Whatever it is, it's moving from a state of longing to a state of having. So for what will be your biggest obstacle, you have the Fool, represented by Don Quixote. Knowing where to start. I think once you get going, you'll be fine, but it's going to be taking that first step. Now with Ace of Swords as something to surrender, it's indicating that having to know everything before beginning is a challenge. And there's a need to be willing to just start taking step one without knowing what step two or step three are going to be yet. So trust could be an issue, and there might need to be an acceptance of the quest. What do they say? Your mission if you choose to accept it, or something like that. A surrender to the journey itself rather than a promise of a prize. The prize is the story that you live to tell. So for the best thing about this month, you have the King of Parchment, represented by the picture of Dorian Gray. Pentacles energy. Court cards represent other people, or they can represent a facet of yourself, so take whichever resonates in your situation. If it's another person, it's going to be the meeting of or the deepening of a connection to someone who is generous, good with their resources, possibly someone of means, but they don't have to be. It's just mostly someone who is stable and secure in the physical world. Now, if this represents a part of yourself, then it is the best thing about April is your own increased sense of stability and security in the physical world. It's this energy growing strong within you. So for your impact and influence on others, you have the Ace of Light. This is Cups energy, represented by the novel Camilla, gothic fantasy, gothic horror. Your energy is triggering people to feel a lot. You could have someone or someone's falling in love with you, or you could have people who come into contact with you feeling awakened in some way, feeling their blood pumping in some way. And yes, that could be anger in a case or two here or there. But some could have mixed or confusing feelings around you. Some could be flustered by you or thrown off their game around you and then be confused as to why. It boils down to you're just going around stirring all sorts of emotional pots, Aquarius. So for what opportunities you should look for? You have the Death card, represented by Bram Stoker's Dracula. Ooh, we got 2 vampire energies here. I don't know if that means something to you, but this is opportunities to transform and enact profound changes in your life, even if others might not like it. Even if others fight those changes because they're not ready for what those changes might mean for them. It's opportunities to shed dead weight, opportunities to face the discomfort that forces you to outgrow something, and opportunities to evolve into the next version of yourself, the next highest version of yourself. So where you will find the most support, you have the King of Ink. This is Wands energy, represented by the War of the Worlds. Once again, it's another person or it's you. If it's another person, it's someone who's a teacher or a mentor, someone who inspires you, or like who you look at and you aspire to be or to emulate. If it's a part of yourself that you need to strengthen to support you, it would be your passion and your focus. It's holding yourself up by a desire to excel and exceed your limitations. It's your own power and your discipline over your will and your energy. So for your self-care directive, you have the Chariot, represented by Treasure Island. Get moving, shake it out. This could be any change of scenery, like a road trip. I feel like with traveling lightly in the world, that's giving backpacking across Europe vibes. But of course, it could be simpler than that. It could just be going for a daily walk in your own neighborhood and maybe going the opposite direction you normally would. Or if it's not that, alternatively, just set a goal, like any goal, set any goal just to give yourself a target to shoot for, something to focus on, to direct your energy and concentrate the energy, a single focus, and not have all of this kind of light refracted all around and all this distraction, a single focus. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Much love, and I'll talk to you next month. Thank you.